Welcome back to the arbitrary YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this simple, elegant sleeve detail. It's very simple to make. It's a simple DIY and it doesn't take too much time. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this exaggerated sleeve detail, it's very simple to make. It's a simple DIY. So I'll be working with a measurement of 14 inches on fold. This is on fold and it's looking this white because I added gum stay to it. So you can use peplum stay, you can use color stay, anything just to make the sleeve stand on its own so that it can hang well. So I'll be using just gum stay for the purpose of this tutorial, but gum stay will not do. Just get a color stay or a peplum stay if you are doing yours, then you attach it to the gum stay that you already have. So now, like I said, I'll be working with 14 inches by 14 inches. So this is all I need, and I'll be cutting two of these, one for lining and one for main fabric for each of my sleeves. Okay, so now that I have this together, you can use it like this, or you can shape it a bit, because the regular one you will notice that the upper part is straight while the lower part looks like it is slanted. So to do this now, I'm just going to be measuring like 3 inches on the lower part like this inwards on the opened part here. So here I'll go inwards by 3 inches, and then after doing that, I'm going to take my ruler and then connect it to the upper part like this. So once I have that, I'll take my scissors and then I'll shape it out. Okay, so this is the new shape that I have for my exaggerated sleeve. So the next thing to do now is to cut exactly this for my lining also, but because I'm using a gum stay as my stiffener, which is not so strong, so I'll be adding the same gum stay to the lining also. But assuming you are using a peplum stay, you don't need to add any gum stay to it. Remember, if you add gum stay, it just gives the fabric like all this stiff effect, which you may not like. Okay, so this is a fabric that doesn't have gum stay. You can see how lush it is looking, and you can see how this with gum stay is looking. So if you're adding a peplum stay to this or a color stay, you may not need to add gum stay to your main fabric. So now I'm just going to cut this on my lining also, then I'm going to use them to turn out each other. Okay, so I've cut this on my lining now and I have two of these. The next thing is just for me to place them against each other like this. Then after placing them again, so let's say you are working with a lace fabric, which is very common. I'm using this plain fabric because this is a tutorial, so it's the same process. You just cut your inner lining, which will be a doll face or a taffeta or whatever you are using. Then you cut your lace fabric also, and then you cut your main lining. So you just place your lace fabric on your interlining like this, then you can use a pin to hold it, or you can sew it around just to hold this together. So after placing your lace fabric on it, then you use your lining to turn out everything. Okay, so it's still the same process. So now I'm just going to be placing this now on each other, then I'll take it to the same machine now and sew it upward here and also downward here before I now turn it out. So now I've gone ahead to sew it on both ends. Now the next thing is for me to turn it out neatly. After turning it out, this is what I have. Then you take it to the ironing table, then you iron it neatly so that it can have something flat. Okay, so I'm just going to work with this like this. I'll try to press it down with my hand. Okay, so you have this, and this is the part that we shaped. You can see it's looking a bit smaller than the upper part. So now after this, you pass your needle and thread. You can either plait this or gather it depending on what you want, but I'll be using my needle and thread to gather it. So now you pass your needle and thread, a matching needle and thread, don't mind the one I'm using, then you run like a loose gather stitch around here. You can also use your machine to do this, but I prefer to use my hand needle. Okay, so you keep passing your needle and thread like this till you get to the end point. You can serge this side. Remember, we did not turn these two edges, so for a neat finishing you can serge it so that you have something neat before you run your gather stitches. So you keep doing that till you get to the end like that. Okay, so once you get to the end like this, you drag it and you arrange it very well, and then you tie a knot there. So the same thing you did here, you do on the other end also. Okay, so I'm just trying to see I have something equal on both sides. Once I'm sure I have something equal, I'm just going to tie a knot there to secure my thread before I cut it out. Once I tie thread now, I can cut it out, and if you take it together, this is what you will have. You can see. So now we'll be sewing this to the waist, to the side of our dress. So I'm just going to pin it on the mannequin so that we can see. You can see the shape we have. This is the front is looking, and the lower part is just a bit slanted like this. You can see what we have. So the aim is just for it not to be too tight, because usually a long sleeve is usually on the armhole area of the dress already. This is just to give it like an elegant detail. So now we'll be sewing this to the side, and I'll show us what it looks like on the mannequin. Okay, so this is our sleeve detailed here. You can see, as seen in the thumbnail, you can see that the upper part is a bit straight while the lower part just bends towards this side, which is what we have here. So because this is not a dress, I just pinned it to the mannequin at the back there so that it can hold it still for me. So this is the little bend that we have on the lower part. So you can see how simple it is to make this, and it just makes the simple dress to just pop out a bit. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give this a thumbs up, like, comment, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.